Conditional replacement. When a certain condition occurs, something replaces it, or something is replaced. Generally, a SQL Loader is usually blanks are detected, you replace it with something such as a 0 or a null, or a specific literal value gets replaced with something else. The null if condition. If the column has nothing in it, say for instance blanks, you can replace the value in the table with null. In other words, don't put anything in the table at all because it's got nothing in the field in the input data file from SQL Loader. Default if. If the field is blanks, you can replace it with the default value. In the case of a number or numeric value, you'd actually replace it with a 0. So, let's look specifically at default if and null if. These two statements have a specific format. This will replace a value in a table, a column in a table, with a default value specified for that column in the database metadata. A 0 is generally the default for a number column, and a null value is generally the default for a string column. In the case of null if, you're simply replacing the table column with a null value when there's nothing in the input data file. You're replacing it with nothing, you're not putting anything in at all. You specify it with the name of the column in the target table. You can also use positional data. In other words, if the input file between position n and m contains x, do something with it. You can replace the value triggered by the condition, default if or null if, based on the fact that the value in the input data file is blanks, there's nothing there, or you've got a specific string in that value in the input data file. That's how the default if and null if conditions work as applied to each column.